Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Shen Plays. Welcome back to Factorio Beginner's Guide with my friend Aavak. How's it going?
Hey, it's going quite well. Thanks, Shen. Yourself?
Pretty good. What we've been doing between episodes there. I can see a lot of new construction.
Yeah, but nothing new in terms of what it is. We've just expanded our battery production quite a lot. We've actually doubled our battery production because we anticipate that we're going to be going through quite a lot of batteries once we get a little bit further in technology. And ahead of what we're going to be opening with in this episode, we've also set up a mirrored green circuit production line so that we've got all of the necessary components for lasers.
Oh, that's right. We researched lasers, didn't we? I built a couple in my pocket. They take 20 seconds to build, though, so it's probably something that you want to build in a factory.
Yes, quite definitely something you want to build in a factory. Thank you very much for that.
So,
now, I've actually got a few because I was testing around with lasers, much like Shen. I've got quite a lot ready, but this is definitely something, as Shen mentioned, that you really want to aim to have a factory do for you, because otherwise you are going to be spending an awful lot of time making these. 20 seconds is, doesn't sound like much, but when you need like 5 per defensive outpost, it starts to add up very, very quickly.
Well, the good thing about it is the recipe is very easy. It's steel, green circuits, and batteries. So once you've done like we did, and you have a steady amount of batteries coming through your base, you can build lasers no problem.
I'm just going to set this area up. We're going to have a single chest just gathering the lasers for us, because we're going to need a reasonable amount, but nowhere near the amount that a steel chest can contain. So we're going to limit this to just 2 slots. Now, as you can see, that's exactly the amount that I've got on me at the moment, which is 100. Lasers stack to 50. We are going to drop in these here, and we should be good to go. I would suspect. There we are. Perfect. So there we are. Now, they need 12 batteries, 20 electronic circuits, and 20 steel. For those who are interested, that's about... What's wrong?
There we go. I just didn't have the belt extended to this one. This one couldn't reach his batteries.
Oh, no.
He was crying out for batteries.
But that's roughly speaking how many electric circuits that we're producing. We can produce the amount of electronic circuits in the time period for 4 laser factories to use, and we are overproducing in terms of batteries and obviously steel as well. Or hopefully we're making more than 20 steel every 20 seconds or 1 steel a second. It would be quite bad at this late stage of the game if we weren't.
Right.
But this is going to illustrate something. It'll take a little while to filter through, but you can possibly see it just over here in the middle by the buffer system. We are consuming copper a fair bit faster than we are now making it. And that's something we're going to have to look at throughout this episode. We'll just keep coming back just to see how bad that might be getting and whether we need to address it. I suspect we probably will. What do you think, Shen?
Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to have to increase the copper production. And it's not so much that we don't have a good copper field that we're tapping. Our copper field's great. It's simply our copper smelting has not been upgraded since the dawn of time. And we're going to have to make that a little bigger. Yeah, and that's something that'll happen in your game as you progress, especially towards blue science, which we're getting very close to. As you get towards blue science, you're going to use way more copper than you did before. So expect to have the need to increase your copper smelting. But to get blue science, we need something else. And what is that?
That will be red circuits.
All right. Well, we have plastic produced, which is great. Green circuits, we know how to do that. And copper cable, that's simple. Yep. So this looks like a pretty easy recipe.
Yeah. But bear in mind, the red circuit is something you're going to use a lot of. Whereas we've been basically making our green circuits local to where they're needed, once you get to red circuits, the infrastructure required to produce red circuits, it doesn't make sense to carry that everywhere where you're going to need to make them. It makes a lot more sense at that point to bring along all of the stuff to one place and just produce masses of red circuits and then filter that out to where it's needed to be used. Do you agree with that, Shen?
Oh yeah, red circuits are in many, many recipes, especially in robotics that we're going to be
Later
using a
on,
lot of.
they use a lot of them, and they're not a quick thing to make, but they are used in vast amounts. But one thing I will touch on before we get to that is we did have to expand our power as well. We are starting to run a little bit low on power, and the moment we set up lasers, as you can imagine, that's going to get even worse. So we've doubled the amount of, or almost doubled the amount of power that we're producing, but I think whilst we're sat here talking, there's a couple of things that we can look at which will help us with power as well, just to get the research rolling. Solar energy, that's more of a later stage thing because we can set up solar farms, but something that we can use in conjunction with solar energy is practically necessary, but something we can already use now with lasers is electric energy accumulators 1.
Definitely.
Now, an accumulator, as the name implies, it stores power. We use them in real life in different sorts of ways. But effectively, the idea with an accumulator is you're putting energy into it when you're overproducing, and then if there's a sudden peak in energy consumption which outstrips your production, the accumulator will start to discharge to just kind of shore up that shortfall in production. We do it in very, very myriad different ways in real life, using dams and that sort of thing for our power plants. Just the peak consumption can really rapidly increase over silly things. Lasers will be that because they're not always going to be firing, but when they are, they're going to drain an awful lot. And if it's a big attack, a lot of lasers might be involved. So you definitely want that kind of backup. You don't want to just be relying on what you're producing. So I'm going to drop down a couple of lasers. I notice we're getting a couple of attacks up here, so I'll just pop those there. Now, the nice thing with lasers, they've actually got a longer range than regular guns, which means that they can shoot over the top. They've got a range of 25, and regular guns have got a range of 17, so you can just line them up behind the guns that you've already got, and they'll just shore up the defenses. Now, Shen, what shall we do with regards to our current red circuit production, or rather our plans for?
Well, we have a nice area that we've cleared out most of the trees for. We're going to get started red circuit production in this area, and it's simply a matter of small area for green circuits, bring in a line of copper so we can get some copper wires, and bring up our plastic from the south. We have a line of plastic coming up from our oil industry area. We just haven't used it yet. So this is the first opportunity for using our red circuits, or for using our plastic.
Okay. Now, the other things that we use here is electronic circuits. 2 electronic circuits every 8 seconds. That is going to be something very easy for us to match. Again, I said that we are going to need a lot of red circuits, so whatever design that we settle on here needs to be expandable. Right now, we're not going to need that many, but later on, we're going to want to be producing a vast number of these in any given period of time. So, Shen, if you'd like to start laying down a kind of basic plan of where you want this factory to be with a mind to expansion, I'll run a line of the plastic up to meet you.
Sounds like a plan.
I'll get rid of all of these yellow belts that I've been accumulating since I've started using red belts. They're clogging up my inventory, damn it.
I know. But can't you put them into the...
You can, yeah. Yeah, I probably will with whatever I'm left over with here.
Just recycle them, man.
There we go. Now, having this plastic line just running up through the factory, it's not going to be particularly aesthetically pleasing. There are lots of other ways that we could do this, and later on we may actually even look into a couple of them. This is getting very tight around this bus. I don't like that. I really generally don't like having everything in one space. Where is the plastic going to need to come into this formula, Shen?
Near the middle. So come up about where I'm standing.
Okay.
And run the plastic to the left. That's it.
Okay, I'll get that done for you right away. Also, while we're waiting, since we've researched electric accumulators and the next one requires blue science, which we can't get to, and that's ultimately what we really want to get to, I'm going to go ahead and research something that we haven't done for a long time. And that is concrete.
Concrete. Oh, right. So what is special about concrete? What does it do?
Well, we haven't really covered paving at all, but concrete is effectively a better version of paving. Now, the way that paving works is, as you might imagine, if you're walking on paving, you move faster. Also, it looks nicer, in my opinion. Concrete is just a better version of that. Now, I can quickly demonstrate paving by placing some down. If you select a paving tile, it'll give you a little cursor. You can increase or decrease the size of this to 1 tile, 2x2, 3x3, 4x4, so on and so forth. As far as I'm aware, it will use the correct number of bricks
It will,
per
yes.
tile. But let's quickly demonstrate this. I'll use a 3x3 and I'll just run it along here. Sounds very loud, I do apologize. But if Shen and I both stand here, like if you come over here, Shen.
Oh, you want to run along it so we can show the difference in speeds? All right, get on the paving.
You ready?
3,
go.
2, 1, go. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Look at that difference in speed. And this is the starter level paving. Once we get concrete, it's even faster.
Indeed. And you can do all sorts of things with it. You can collect it by right-clicking. It's a little bit time-consuming to collect it all up, but you'll get back the stone bricks. Now, these are bricks and not actual raw stone, so just bear that in mind. You do need to bake these bricks. And later on, concrete, it isn't a flat upgrade from this. You don't take bricks to make concrete, or at least I don't believe you do. Let me just double-check that. Oh, no, you do actually use bricks. You use the bricks, and you convert the bricks into... with some iron and water, and that makes concrete. And then you just lay it in much the same way that we've laid the bricks here. I'm sorry about the noise of me collecting all of it. But another thing to bear in mind is vehicles are also affected by paving. So if you've got tiles, bricks down, or concrete, your cars are going to move faster. But also, you will move faster on the belts themselves. It multiplies the effect of moving on the belts.
Right, which is interesting, yeah.
just something to be aware of. You can do things, as we showed with the biters earlier, one way of dealing with the biters is just have belts pushing them away from the walls. If you put down things like paving, you can really multiply that effect to the point that biters will have a very difficult time getting to your walls because they're going to be having to fight against so much momentum carrying them away.
Oh, yes. And I keep running out of inserters and blue factories.
Yes. This is why we automate these things. We will use a lot of them over time. Now, one thing we probably do need to look into doing is increasing our production of, well, not so much rail track, but definitely we probably want to look at getting automated red splitters and underground belt.
Oh, yes.
We're currently only making the belt itself. That is going to be squirrely to do, though, to say the least. So we're probably going to leave that one for a little while.
Yeah, something like that will probably show you the result of it after we laid it out, just because it's something you're going to want to do eventually, but it's not like an absolute necessity for every factory. It's just something that you probably want, maybe you want. It's up to you. It depends on how much of the upgraded belts you use in your factory.
It is quite a shame that these things are not 1 tile larger.
What things? Oh, the power plants? The power poles?
Power plants. Such a shame.
Do you think this is enough green circuits to get started with red? I think so.
Yeah, I think so. This will be a lot of green circuits for what we're going to be
if we look at the main bus here, this is a really good example of how much copper is being used now compared to previously. Because before we set up the laser turrets, this copper line was full. It was just completely full of copper, and it's not anymore. Not even close. So yeah, we're going to have to increase our copper smelting by quite a lot.
Steel as well, I noticed.
Steel as well, yes.
Don't see the steel nearly as fast. But once this is filled up, it'll start just backstuffing the belts. I've just dropped off a couple of the laser turrets that I had just to expedite that process, but that isn't a solution.
No.
We needed to be able to maintain this production over a long period of time.
Right. There's some materials you may be comfortable with just only being produced occasionally and then having like a small stockpile, and that may have a severe impact on your factory's throughput for its main bus, just because that particular part of your factory uses so much material. But if it's only a small amount, like our lasers, there's only going to be 100 lasers in that box. It's not going to be running all the time.
As much as I wish it would.
More lasers.
Indeed. Right, I'm just going to set up the power poles over here as well, and then we should be good. Let's get you going. One there, and one down there. Okay, right. So we are set up here. Now, what's the next step, Mr. Shen?
Well, this is our green circuits. And if we check the formula, we need 2 of these. We need 2 plastic and we need 4 copper cable. So we already have some copper coming up for the green circuits. So we're going to need to get another copper coming up for the red circuits, because the green circuits will surely use a lot of the copper on their own. They're very copper hungry. And this is another sign that we need to increase copper production, because this particular facility that we're setting up is going to be really hungry on consumption of copper.
Yeah.
Wait, did I do that wrong? I did that wrong. Whoops.
That's all right. We forgive you.
Just this one time, right? Just this one. There we go.
Only once. You only get one forgiveness.
All right, so we're starting to produce some green circuits. Hooray, hooray.
Yep.
And we have our plastic. We have our
Our
plastic.
copper is so badly damaged. But as you can see there, lasers very quick to put down the...
Oh, did we just have an attack? I see, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still getting a little bit
those
close
are the
to our
mediums, huh?
cannons.
The
but
red ones.
Yeah. They're still getting a little bit close to them, but not too much. At this point, I will probably be making a note. Well, actually, we've got a little bit of an attack down the south. So I'm going to go and drop off some laser turrets down there as well.
Okay.
Next time there is an attack, I'll try to watch the power consumption when the lasers kick in.
Oh, you can
'cause
watch the spike, yeah.
Yeah, it is quite considerable. You really shouldn't underestimate how much power lasers are going to start consuming once you start augmenting your defenses with them. I will say again, though, while a lot of people do like to just completely switch over to lasers once they've got it, and they'll scale up their energy production to manage it, I really like to use lasers in conjunction with regular guns.
We have things blowing up.
Ooh, we do indeed.
In Ironton, they're probably out of ammo.
Oh, right. They must have used quite a lot, because I did restock that. You may want to head over there, Shen.
All right, well, that's a good opportunity to show off lasers, so I guess I'll abandon my production over here, and we'll go save part of our factory. I hope the train is nearby, so I can catch that and make it nice and quick.
It won't be. We both know this.
Aavak was trying to go
train,
there and come back earlier, and the train was never in the right spot. Oh, it's
It was
here.
quite often there
It's
when I
here.
was running
Hit
for
enter.
it, but it would leave.
I'm on the train. Yes.
Really? What kind of
It's
weird
voodoo magic.
deals have you done with the train conductor? That is just... Ah, I am very disappointed.
I think it just arrived because we're still here.
Okay.
Come on, little train.
All right, there we go.
I'm not going to alter its schedule because the attack has already been deterred, so there's no real necessity to get over there. But what happens is if you get attacked in the same place multiple times, you're going to be happy that you have lasers because you don't have to keep refueling it with ammo. That's the main bonus of lasers.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow, the attacks over here. The number
Yeah.
of corpses is nuts. Look at this arc of spitters. Wow, I like
It's
it.
going to be quite impressive, yeah.
All right, yeah, they took out one turret. And it wasn't out of ammo. They just simply focused it down.
Oh, wow. Well, the nice thing about turrets is they do a reasonable amount of damage. If we have a look at the guns, they have a shooting speed of 10 plus 7 seconds. And the lasers have a shooting speed of 3 plus 2, 1 second, not quite as fast. Much better range. The damage of a gun is based on its ammo. So in this case, it would be like 5 plus 2, so 7 physical. The laser, 20 plus 8 laser. Well, actually, let me just hover over one of these and see what it is. Damage is 4 plus 3, 8, 4 physical for our current guns. Or 10 plus 9, 6 physical if we've got the piercing ammo loaded. And the laser is 20 plus 8, so a reasonable bit more than that. It's about 50% more at our current level of research. Now, bear in mind, we have been researching laser damage and laser shooting speed off camera. So don't be too surprised if your lasers, when you first get them, don't perform quite as well as ours will. We've just been tweaking the research to make sure that we're always doing something while we're off camera.
Right. We do spend a lot of time getting things done and while we're not recording. Like, planning the episode ahead, figuring out where we're going to put stuff around in the factory and stuff. And you may do this in your game when you're paused. And we've been doing it while we're live. So if we're going to be live while we're doing it, we might as well be researching at the same time. Hey, look, I'm ready to head home, and guess what's here, Aavak? I'll let you guess.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
But anyway, I went and I checked all the ammo. The ammo looks good on the rest of the on the rest of the outpost, so I'm not going to replace it with lasers there. It's probably fine.
Okay, that's fine
The place we're getting attacked is from the southeast. That little neck there between the two lakes. They're constantly coming up from there. And yep, as we get closer and closer to sort of end game stuff. I don't want to say end game stuff because it's not really, but like robotics and things like that.
From end game,
we're gonna be using so much electricity, especially switching over to laser turrets. We're gonna be using so much electricity that I think supplementing and even replacing a lot of our steam engines with solar will be a necessity just to prevent all these super large attacks that we keep getting.
Yeah. Right. Well, we need to get a little bit more work done on our red circuit factory. We've covered basically what we're going to be setting up here. So I think this is probably a good place for us to lay down a break in the episode. We can get the red circuit factory up and running, or at least in its basic form. And then when we return, we'll have got the red circuits going. We'll also expand the copper smelting because we're clearly insufficient with that. We've got a deficiency of copper coming through. So what I'm imagining we'll do is we'll just double up our smelting operation, maybe even elongate it similar to the iron, because at this point we are using it in fairly large quantities. And then we can bring you back to see what we've managed to do.
Sounds like a plan. And once we have the red circuits, that means we can start hammering away on blue science. And that unlocks a whole lot of new research, including oil cracking, improved oil recipes, and all sorts of mid to end game research.
Oil cracking is a very, very important one for us because it massively improves the rate that we're going, just the efficiency of the oil that we're using for our fuel blocks. But before I leave you, I'm going to just start on solar research.
Sounds like a plan.
Not something that we're going to work on right away, but it's something that we will be thankful for when it's done ahead of time.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Factorio Beginner's Tutorial covering batteries, lasers, and the beginning of red circuits. We will see you all next time for the completion of red circuits and what hopefully will be the start of blue science.
Indeed. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.